In 1993, three teenagers, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Misskelley, were convicted of a crime that they did not commit. My point of view consists of questions that still have not been answered. Why were they convicted if there wasn't any evidence proving that they were the killers? The Arkansas court system had evidence of one of the stepfathers of the 8-year-old boys. It brings me to my next question. How can the court system be so cruel? They knew that these three teens had not done this crime, but yet not one person in the court system tried to stand up for them. The policeman lied, the judge ignored facts, and the prosecutor simply did not care. 6 lives ended that year, not just 3. These men spent over almost 2 decades in prison and on death row for something that they did not do, while the real monster spent his life freely, and the court system knew this. They were accused simply because of their personalities and their choices of clothes, things that simply should not matter. It reminds me of what is happening in today's time, where black men are being killed just because of the color of their skin, and the court system continuously does nothing. My social issue is, how is this ethical? This has become an even bigger social issue over the years. With as much technology that has been created since 1993, there shouldn't be innocent men still doing time for crimes that they did not commit, but there are. The Arkansas court system did not want to look as grimy as they really are, so they gave them the option of signing the Alford plea. This is where the court system would not admit to any wrongdoings, while Damien, Jesse, and Jason would plead innocent but still have these murders on their records. Jason initially refused, but later accepted it because he did not want Damien killed for something that they did not do. This brings me to my last question. If this case didn't receive as much publicity as it had, would these 3 men have ever seen the outside of a prison again? Would they have been even given the option of the Alford plea? Or would Damien Echols have died behind the hands of the court system for a crime that he did not commit?
My point of view is similar to Damaria's, but a little biased towards the information provided in the book since it was wrote from Damien Echols' point of view. The book starts by illustrating Damien Echols' upbringing, which I think was a pivotal move for Echols because it created empathy for himself. Hearing about the neglect, the rough illustration of parenting, relationships modeled, and sleeping in filth really pulls at your heartstrings, especially in my mind because I had no previous knowledge of this event until I started reading his book. So without images of 3 tortured boys in the back of my brain, I was pulled in by Echols' stories and adventures of his childhood and intrigued by his sense of style. As the book progresses, I imagined a psychologically lost boy trying to figure out life and create some happy memories with his friends. Yet he seemed to have some awfully bad luck placed upon him due to stereotypes and the fear that ignorance of diversity can instill in people. All kids go through phases and are not targeted like Damien was, so why was he such a hot topic? The book further dives into stories of the people Damien Echols came into contact with throughout his life, and he speaks about the people who were against him, the supporters, and the prisoners whom kept him company throughout his sentence. The combination and collaboration of pictures, such as from his wedding at Tucker Max, the journal entries and letters, provide insight into his emotional and psychological journey. This book brings upon many questions about our society, political systems, judicial systems, and faith in humanity. It is also terrifying to imagine the violence and corruption that Echols speaks of within our prisons from a time that is within our current decade. This book has ignited a fire within my heart that I did not know existed. Many complex social issues come to mind, such as why were drug force cops investigating a murder crime? Why was the harassment of potential suspects tolerated before arrests were made? Why are the mentally ill restricted to treatment only weeks before their execution instead of the entire stay in prison? By witnessing the impact that social media created for these 3 prisoners, it makes you thankful for the ability to get your voice heard, but saddened by the fact that it takes such public acts to get the opportunity to have a chance of telling your side of the story, when you were supposed to have your day in court. I believe without the addition of social media, these men would still be in prison today. This brings up the next issue or thought of who else has been tormented by our judicial system and was not lucky enough to have celebrity and media support. The fact that an Alford plea even exists proves the defects within our judicial systems and our society today.
empathize and sympathize. Yeah, but be careful what you wish for.